Hello, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the channel. I'm not sure where to put this video, on which playlist, but yeah. So let me just, right now I'm in Photoshop, and I actually framed the screen record mode to just like this specific part. So it's only like a part of Photoshop, so you're hardly seeing like the layers and everything. Because I don't think you need to see all that. I think it takes away from the experience a bit when I see it on video. Like it takes too much of the visual surface areas, so I kind of want more of the screen to feature more of the canvas than the tools. I mean, I have a couple of stuff here on the side, but it's very minimal. So I'm gonna see how that works. By the way, I do have some coffee. It's from Copico. The brand is Copico, specifically the Blanca, 3-in-1 sort of sachet thing. It tastes so good, guys. I've tried the brown one, I think, and stuff, or even the original one. It doesn't feel the same. I think Nescafe has a different version as well. I think it's light blue. It's kind of milky in the same way. But I think Copico has my heart for now, so let me just draw something. By the way, guys, I just want to say, but you know what? Let me pause because I want to save this file first. Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, just some updates. Maybe you've probably noticed, but I wasn't able to post quite a few things on the channel just because I'm kind of not tired, well, a little bit, but because right now I'm actually kind of sick. I do have a little bit of a fever, but that's not even the main thing that's kind of annoying me. Because let me just draw this. Because let's say this is like my arm, right? So shoulder could be like my elbow, right? Maybe this is me. Something fucked up. Basically, I believe I have golfer's elbow. Thankfully it's not as bad now, but days ago it was like freaking painful. Like I couldn't even bend. Like my arm. Shit, I'm having trouble drawing arms. So fuck. I think doing stuff like this where you try to explain yourself in visual form, it kind of shows you that your weaknesses. So I'm gonna go for it. So if this is me, this is my head, right? This is like my body, my butt. Oop. You're seeing me from top to bottom or from above. Like I can't. No, that's the wrong view. Jesus. Like my arm is basically like this. It always has to be kind of like this, like bent. In this way. Like I can't even extend it all the way. Shit, that's a fucking ugly hand. This is what happens when you don't draw every day. It's like the suffering. Like it's sort of in this angle. Basically, I walk like this. We'll draw a stick, man. So this is me. If you're seeing me from this view, this would my right. I'm kind of like this. Shit. Like my left arm is always kind of folded, and slowly but surely it has been kind of coming down a bit. So hopefully over time it's gonna be able to go back to normal. But essentially, like the interior side, this is my chest, right? We'll just draw this. Shit, how do you draw the body? This is me. So let's say the arm is kind of like this, right? If this is me, so it's somewhere. If this is like the crotch area, make it bigger. You know, to add a little more bulge. There you go. I'm kidding. Oh. We'll keep it androgynous, right? Let's say it's kind of like that, right? Oh, damn, my hands look so fucking disgusting in this one. There. How do you draw the arm? It's kind of like this. It's gonna be thicker at the bottom just because you have more of the forearm like muscles there. Oh my god, like how do you simplify the hands? Like this is painful. This hurts this hurts more than my actual injury. Kind of like this, right? Add some abs. You know what? Anyway, that's kind of how I look right now. And also, just for your information, I believe my left knee as well. What we learned from a previous episode, it's kind of like this, like because just from sheer observation of seeing a lot of artworks, drawings of the human body, the knee sometimes can be demonstrated or illustrated as a triangle, sort of, kind of like this. Kind of like that, because there's like two muscles here or something. It's kind of just on top of the actual like bone, right? Go try that. Triangle. Oh my god, how do you draw the fucking knees? This is painful, guys. Anyway, my left knee is also pretty much fucked because I think it's not really like a from overuse. It's probably just my gout. So we have like a golfer's elbow. Let me just extend this, move this around here. We do have golfers. By the way, you don't have to play golf to have this. It just means it's just associated with golf for some reason. Basically, the interior of your elbow on the inside, probably it's around here. It's probably the tendon is kind of like pulled or broken a little bit, torn up, so it has to like heal. It can happen from overuse, from repetitive motion. So I'm guessing it's from me working out or something. Probably that. And maybe not warming up. I'm kind of seeing why people say you do have to, spend some time to at least warm up because you're gonna suck. Or it could lead to injury. Like you're putting too much pressure too soon. It's kind of like that. Like that's the concept anyway. So golfers, elbow, and we have my gout. It's either I have it on my toe, my big toe, which is so common. If not the toe, the ankle. If not the ankle, it's gonna be my freaking knees. And I actually think I mentioned in the past that I had gout in my elbow before, because there was a time where I only rendered or drew from my left hand. I'm right-handed, and because I wanted to do something, I did not want to just stay stagnant and just waste my time. So it was kind of sucky, but I was able to create some nice artworks here and there, do some studies. But I said during that time that I had gout, and because that's the only pain I kind of know aside from like sprains. But now that I have this again, like this feeling, I think what I also had was golfer's elbow. It's just my guess, and by the way, just to share, even during that time, like this wasn't like the main area first, so maybe that's why I thought it was gout. I think it started in my wrist, like on my right hand, my right arm. It started in my wrist. Like I had so much wrist pain. And I felt really like sad just because obviously I'm right-handed. So what if something happens, right? And then eventually it kind of disappeared, and then it moved over to my freaking elbow, my right elbow. So it was like one injury after another, and right now I'm kind of in that phase where now that I'm kind of slowly healing with my golfer's elbow, my god, it's just fucking flaring. It's like freaking, it never ends. It never ends, guys. So I think this is a lesson for all of us, especially for me, that it just never ends. Like there's always gonna be something it's gonna get in your way, whether it be outside of you or from yourself. Maybe it's because of exterior reasons, exterior circumstances, or maybe it's just because of you. Maybe you have some kind of bad habit, maybe you have some health issues, whatever. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring on or open up a reference file. Because right now, since I know I kind of suck with drawing the anatomy, maybe, again, I'm not saying it's because I have no idea how to completely draw it. Maybe it's because I haven't been drawing as much. But we'll try drawing it again and doing some studies. So right now I have this thing here, right? So I actually have reference. It's kind of like this. So this guy's kind of jacked. It looks like a bodybuilder. That's his crotch going. And it kind of goes like this. Damn, his legs are so freaking thick. Not like that. And then the not the elbow, the knees are kind of here. The image is kind of cut in this way, so I can't see everything, but now don't worry too much about accuracy right now. I think the important thing here is to learn how to break it down a bit. So like I said, there's kind of like a triangle thing happening. I want to learn how to like simplify that. I know it looks weird, but give it some time. If this sucks so bad, I'm gonna put this in the membership, so you can see like the real life stuff. Because obviously it doesn't always look good if you have. You want to show off your best work on average online, but it's just not realistic. In real life, you're not always gonna just start doing amazing freaking work. It's a lot of it is gonna suck so bad to the point where you kind of want to quit in that moment. So there you go. Right, there's like two muscles or something. Not like that. And then again with the knees, it's kind of like this. And it's okay when you draw something. You don't always have to completely understand what you're drawing. Just try to find what you can find in the drawing. For example, look at this. I don't fully understand what's going on sometimes. The point is to sort of like if you have an image, right? If this is your reference, and you try to like replicate that, study it, maybe you will only really get like this part kind of right, this part kind of right, this part kind of right, and maybe all in all you'll only be able to get maybe like 20% of it, maybe even less. But over time it's gonna add up. Like you're gonna understand a little bit how the knees kind of look in this angle. You're gonna know that there are like two muscles usually doing this kind of thing. You're gonna know that the crotch is sometimes. Let me just erase some parts here, because right now I can even see some folds, right? So I can show that off by showing how you have folds here, right? And you have, so you can see how it's the fabrics are kind of being stretched. Even if you don't right now, you probably don't know how to draw folds all the way, but just by studying, you kind of know, oh shit, like something, like whenever you see long lines like that, it's kind of being pulled. And that's kind of what I see with my reference photo kind of here. I also know if I just draw something like this, because there's like a stitch line, so that can help create or suggest some kind of volume. Obviously, this guy has some massive freaking balls, but I'm kidding. Let me just erase these parts, right? So you see those folds there, but also you have folds over here, right? But this type of information, maybe it's only like 5%, 2% of the whole thing that you're able to acquire, but it's gonna transfer to your future work eventually. So, and that's why people say just draw or just study, because even if you have no idea what you're doing, over time it's gonna build up to somewhere over the rainbow. Right? Let me just take this guy and put it over here. Let me just drink some coffee. And actually, the reference I have for this guy specifically, it's kind of looking right at you. So if this is an arrow, right? It's kind of looking straight at you. So it's not always applicable, meaning because whenever we draw characters, it's not always going to be in this front view, right? So sometimes it can be, but I still think you need to learn how to draw it in the front sort of view. Just you want to be able to map out the figure, right? The same guy, we'll focus on the arms. I see like the shoulder is like so freaking big. Kind of like that. This is B. And then, oh, it's actually kind of like this. Set A. I also want to be, well, not you want, but I'm impressed when people can simplify the anatomy in just a couple of strokes. But you know, it's not like they always get it right the first time. From sheer experience, obviously, they'll be able to mostly do it in one stroke, but to get to that level where you can do it in like one stroke, like first try kind of thing, you have to make a lot of mistakes, and that's kind of the thing that I don't have, and that's just experience. So the wrist, there's always like a bump here because that's where the wrist is. What do we know? Just looking at this arm, guys, it feels like not our proportions can be different, but if we just break this down, like from the top of the shoulder, I'm not saying you should do this or do exactly as I'm doing, or that these breakdowns are correct. It's just a way for me to break it down myself, and I want to see some patterns. So anyway, top of the shoulder is around like this level or length is about the same thickness, more or less. Just looking at the image, from shoulder, top of shoulder to elbow joint, it's kind of where the wrist. Shit. We should extend this a little more. Fuck, just erase the whole goddamn thing. Let's make another line around the same. And then you have the hand. Okay, so the upper arm is kind of short compared to the lower arm. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Interesting. How do you draw the... I'm gonna extend the canvas, sorry, further down. You know what, I'm kind of understanding why a lot of artists spend so much time. Like you will notice this with the work of say the Rajam, E058, even Levi. I haven't done an art review of Leviathan yet, but they draw pretty slow, and that's why it can take so long to like finish like one drawing. So let me just do this. I'll unlock this. Hit G. Like what? There you go. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong. Wait, what the fuck? There you go. Lock it again. You know what's so cool about Clips of Depends? You don't have to do that. Everything, like you can have like a set layer that's just one color. So let's just draw the hand quickly. Oh, why is it so big? Am I even using the right brush? Oh my, wait, what's going on? Why is it so different? Or was I using the ink one? What the fuck? Right? Did something, it's like blurry now for some reason. Let me just try this, F4. Did my canvas size decrease? That sucks. Yeah, Control Alt I. So it's 4320, right? When I cropped it, something happened. It sort of became smaller for some reason. What the fuck? Maybe just we'll delete some numbers. What if I do this? Control Alt I. Okay, so it's big. If I unlock this, G. Sorry, what? I'll hit F. Okay, so now it's. I'm not sure why. Why did my canvas size decrease? What the? Okay, let's move on. I think that's around. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah, so the hands kind of go beyond that a little bit. And then the thumb kind of breaks out from that major shape and does this. And there are and each artist kind of, they have their own way of sort of breaking down like the it's kind of like that. So the angle is kind of interesting. So it does that. Does that as well. Knuckles, and then boop. We'll hit E to erase everything here. And then it does. Okay, so it's kind of like this. So it kind of dips to a point, goes up again for the wrist, and then goes down. Or maybe it's a little too much. But I know it, the bone thing is kind of on the outside. We'll try this. And this is kind of the thing, the value of drawing slow. You just sort of see more stuff. You can break down information a lot kind of easier, I guess. When we have like the nail, you know, like that. Line here. Goes on top actually. We'll erase this. And then line at the bottom. And then maybe a little bit of the fat is showing, kind of like this. Or some, yeah, skin. Did we learn something? A little bit. And sometimes the learning is sort of subconscious. Like you may not even intentionally, like it doesn't seem as active. Because these parts feel like it's more like active learning. Right? Active. Fuck, let me try. Learning. And it matters, but I think you're kind of doing both. You're also doing passive learning, meaning you, just by doing the studies, you're building sort of muscle memory, subconsciously, unconsciously, and eventually it's gonna show up in your work. But the thing about the passive stuff is it does take longer, perhaps, to apply. We'll just say you're doing both. So just draw. That's kind of my observation so far. It's about 1. So we'll just say A. Yeah. Meaning it's the same sort of value. And then this one, perhaps it's, I don't know. Let me just check. In a way, it's kind of almost A and a half. Because if those fingers are extended, it kind of, right? It may plus minus. We'll just say plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. So whatever the value is of A, it's kind of just half of that. So the hand is kind of from the joint of the wrist to the end of the fingers. It's about here, all the way. Fingers, thumb. That's my guess. Again, proportions can change via person to person, from person to person, but yeah. You know, I kind of like doing these more. Because I don't always have to have something like finished or something to show off. And I think that's why so many of the artists that I see like streaming, or they just do a lot of these longer sessions, I've noticed that the vast majority of their work, of their recordings, is just them like drawing for long periods of time, and it doesn't always end up to a finished illustration. Like in a couple of videos, let's say in 7 videos, each being like 10 hours maybe long, more or less. Maybe there's gonna be like a clip or a specific drawing out of all those drawings, out of all those videos, that's gonna be somewhat finished, and then they make that into a time lapse or something or whatever. But the point is, it's not the majority. Like finished work is not the majority. Like they're just really focused on the process of drawing. So maybe that's my takeaway here for this like art session. If I'm not gonna put this in the art session series, I'm gonna put this in like the membership. But yeah, I think that's a good takeaway. Just focus on the drawing process. Focus on the drawing / painting process. There's also a guy named Pluvium Grandis. He doesn't draw as much, he mostly paints, but he kind of has that same attitude. He's just painting. It doesn't always lead anywhere. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it's more about just, hitting record, doing a live stream, and just painting something. I like that. Am I? Baka. By the way, my right knee, or sorry, my left knee, because again, I do have like my gout. It's kind of healing, but this one is kind of on the way. It's still sort of in the middle phase. It is kind of feeling good just because I'm drinking some Advil or pain relievers. But my God, once you feel that throbbing sort of pain, it's not even it's not even a joke. It's like, for those of you who know how gout feels like, it's like needles. I think that's a good way to describe it. It's a bunch of needles all pointed in like one point. Extremely excruciating pain. So there you go. Let me just drink some coffee. Let me just draw some more stuff here. Again, I'm gonna focus on this guy just because it's kind of buff. Kind of a mean looking dude. By the way, you probably can't tell, but my tablet is on my desk, and I'm using the sort of folding thing that's in the back, like the stand that comes with the tablet. I have like an XPPen 22 Artist 22 second generation tablet, and I used to put it in a monitor arm, but it shakes too much. So even when I record, I find it so like, not only when I draw on it, it keeps shaking, but even the recording, it just shakes too much. Right now, just because my webcam is on the table, it has like a small stand. It does shake a bit, but it's not even close to. It's a lot more stable than if my actual tablet was on a monitor arm. I am thinking of buying like a different kind of. It's not an arm, but it's a stand that has an arm. It's by Vivo, and I've seen a couple of like Amazon reviews of it. And thankfully they've showed pictures. One of them actually has like an Artist 22 as well, like by XPPen. And it looks good. And I think it has some like nice decent weight to it, so it can go down to this like very low level to the point where it's just on the desk. Because for the monitor arm that I have over here, it's kind of on this side, you have it there. It's detached now. And the reason why is, yeah, the shaking is annoying, but also it's just, let me just extend this canvas. It's just so it doesn't go as low. So I always have to like raise my body up just to be able to draw on it. I hate that. So it kind of looks like this. Let me just draw it. It's kind of like that. It has like an arm. And then it has like the VESA mount sort of thing. Kind of like that. With the holes. It's by Vivo. So who knows if it's it has some bad reviews, but I think it's because of the instructions. Like some people don't get it, but based on the photos, those who've shared their photos, they're the ones who actually have good, or they've said they enjoy the product, and they've shown how they've used it on their tablets. So I'm gonna base my judgment on, or I'm gonna focus on the reviews that have, or that associate or use these stands with tablets or with art tablets instead of like desktop or monitors. Um, and it looks good. It looks good. I've seen some Wacom tablet. Some another user use a Wacom tablet, although it's like a 16. But I'm really enjoying the other guy because we have like the exact same tablet, and it looks really good. So we'll see. It's kind of pricey though for me. It's like $60. But you know, if it helps, anything beyond like $10, I'm like, to be that stressful. But hopefully you're not stressful. Or hopefully you're not as stressed. Hopefully you have some money. But for me, in this economy, like, but here's my take on the whole money thing. When I buy stuff, this is not financial advice, by the way, because I'm very poor. But it's just like a bias that I've chosen to develop myself. If it's a product, well, obviously it's a product, but if it's gonna help me eventually lead to making more money, then I'm gonna most likely buy that. So a lot of the stuff I buy is just equipment. And you know, one day I really, you know, because you know, we want to be successful, you know, we want to be somewhat rich, but that's not always possible, you know. So whatever. But I just don't have the enough money to like really enjoy spending. One day I want to enjoy the spending stuff on like nice things. I mean, I'm not saying tools are nice things, by the way, but you know, luxury items, stuff like that, toys, even a PlayStation. I've never had. I've had a PSP, but I just want to have like my own sort of. And it's very common to see like memes online of it's where you have two different guys. It's usually around the escalator. Like one guy's going down and one guy's going up, kind of thing. But one guy on the other end of the escalator, they have a wife with them, and they have like a bunch of baby products, you know, like some, you know, baby food, stuff like that, clothes, toys, maybe. And then on the other side of the escalator, you have a guy, but he's single. But what he's carrying, or it's not a bunch of like baby products, obviously, because he doesn't have a baby or a wife, but he has like a, you know, like an Xbox, a PlayStation. I'm not saying it's one of those things where like you only get to really enjoy stuff when you're older, when you have like the finances to enjoy. Man, this guy's lats, it's like obvious even from like the front view. Oh my god. You know, I'm listening to this streamer named Swole, SWOL. Although I don't watch him stream on Twitch. I just watch like his YouTube stuff because I don't really watch or go to Twitch. But he talks a lot like here and there about like his fitness journey because people ask him, and obviously that's his thing. Aside from like gaming and content creation, apparently you have to consume so much protein, like 1 gram per body weight. Like my god, that's a lot, and you have to be able to afford this kind of thing. But right now I just can't. Right now my intake, I can't even track it well because I just, you have like the bicep here, right? This guy's chest is pretty freaking. So let's just draw a square, kind of like this, right? And the belly button is somewhere here. And then the just erase this part. Oh yeah, I also noticed artists do this. They erase. I know that sounds so fucking dumb when I say it, but sometimes you assume that they can just in one go they can just produce like amazing art in like one go. They erase a lot actually. So there you go. But I was talking about something. Yeah, I just can't afford that amount of protein right now. I did decide to ump my protein. My fuck. I need to have like a bare minimum that I can like guarantee for my own nutritional needs. Because I need some protein, right? So for me, I'm. Let's just draw it over here. It's a little too big. We'll call this one arm stand, because it is a stand. It's not attached to the desk. It's like on top. But this one has I think it's made of metal, so it's very heavy. So it's enough to hold an entire like monitor down. But I'm also, and it also has an arm that kind of goes that's very flexible. It can go to like different kinds of degrees. I've seen the photos of it of people using it, so it's the way I would like this thing to perform. So I think I'm gonna buy that. But anyway, in terms of my protein, it's kind of like this. It's a protein powder thing. And the serving size of it is like 2 scoops. But all in all, that's the serving. So one serving size, one SS, one serving. We'll just one serving size is 2 scoops, right? So, but all in all, that's about one serving size, which is 2 scoops. It equals to like 50 grams of protein. And that's not. I don't weigh 50 grams. I weigh a lot more than 50 grams. Probably like 100. Not 50. I actually need to check, but it's definitely, it's only like a third of my body weight. Like 50 grams, more or less. So, yeah. I do recommend you buy some protein powder. Is it helping? I think so. Because before this, I used to buy like it's like the bottle, the pre-shake kind of thing. But these ones, like per bottle, they're like 30 grams per bottle. But they're kind of pricey. Like if you think of the whole thing for a month, I think you'll save more money when, not all brands obviously, but I think the brand I'm using for this one is Muscle Milk. It's something Muscle Milk, I believe. This one, the one I'm gonna buy is Vivo by Vivo. So we'll see if it's good. Muscle. I'm not sponsored, but this is just to help folks. Now, if you're obviously a pro, you're very experienced, then you don't need my advice. But this is just kind of what I'm doing. Obviously because we're artists, we're kind of indoorsy. Most of us are introverted. Let's stop the cope. We're not super, outgoing and stuff like that. We gotta take care of our health, and for me, I just need this to build like a nice body, because you will get injured if you don't have enough like muscle mass. Like your joints just don't feel the same. But the thing is, even if you work out, you're also gonna get a new set of injuries, just because you can't avoid it, which kind of sucks. It prevents injuries, but also you're also more likely to have injuries at the same time when you work out. Because again, when you work out, you're gonna be weak, right? Because you're gonna eventually increase the weight, so you're gonna be in a position where you're gonna be somewhat weak. But because you're weak, your muscles are going to be struggling, which will eventually lead to some kind of injury. I mean, even building muscle, it's essentially tearing these, creating micro tears in your physique. and that sort of helps build the muscle. So you have to essentially break your muscles in a kind of sustainable way, bit by bit, and that's how you sort of. It's kind of like a triangle, basically. Let's keep it simple. And then where does the shoulder end? Like the muscle mass? It's kind of, let's just draw the armpits. It's kind of half of the chest. Maybe just a bit beyond like half. It's a rough guide. So if this is like the shoulders, if these are like the clavicles, right? We'll do this, clavicles. The arm is gonna stop. It's kind of gonna be around here. Now, obviously, the thickness of these shoulders, they do differ from person to person. Like, this guy's obviously freaking jacked, so it's gonna be so freaking broad. It looks like a freaking superhero. And again, this guy's a bodybuilder, so obviously, this is not a normal person. This shit is ugly. Like that. Yeah, I'm not satisfied. The shoulders are kind of bothering me a little bit. Face. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am. But one day, but again, life is just so much easier if you have a lot of money, a lot of disposable income. But whatever. It's just one of those things. Like, you can't like not stop, or you can't just stop working, because you need money, you know. And then the triceps are kind of like that. Kind of like this, a little, not too much. It's kind of like this, and then it does that. Oh, right. It's also important to know like which lines overlap. I believe Michael Hampton, he has a book called Design and Invention. Design, figure drawing, design, and invention. And he talks about the idea of T's. Like this right here, it's basically the interconnecting sort of lines. Like, you want to master these types of T's. Because it helps show you if something is closer to you, or if something is above something or below something. Which is very important for not just figure drawing, but in anything really. Anything that involves like lines, like line work, it's gonna, yeah. Again, I figured this out by erasing. You know what? I'm gonna put this in the art session, and I want to normalize this in my channel. Make it less. I ought to make this less. Like, I'll treat it the same way I do the art reviews, where I just, if I want to see or explore an artist's work, I just make sure their profile is open, and then I just hit record and start talking. So it's basically a bit it is very like nonchalant, unstructured. Some people don't like that, but I think most people who follow the channel, they just, you know, they like it enough. And I kind of want to have the same vibes for the art sessions. I do want to, obviously, it would be nice if I just knew everything. If I could like guide a hordes of people and give them like immense knowledge, but I'm just not there. You know, I'm kind of figuring it out myself as well. So, whatever. Interesting, the chest is actually going beyond the body a bit, kind of like this. Interesting. Oh, right, you can see it a little bit here as well. And you go, ooh, armpits. I'm not really an armpit person or guy. Although I did see like a video of this guy. Basically, he had his girlfriend do this. If this is her like armpit, right? Kind of like that. That's her shoulder. And that's her. This. Let's add like anime eyes. How about that? How did you draw anime eyes? Oh my god. Like this. Oh, it's so disgusting, but basically it's that. That's his girl, right? Let's erase this. That's the neck. She had her arms kind of like this. I just remember seeing this video and it kind of opened me. Although I'm more of a foot person, but essentially he added like he put cereals on the armpit and added some milk, and then he grabbed a teaspoon or a spoon and he ate his cereal from her armpits. And I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, no judgment. It is what it is, you know? So maybe for those of you who are into armpits, you probably know this video. It's a very famous video. Well, maybe not very famous, but it definitely made an impact on me. I'm like, oh shit, like, is this a thing? It is a thing, by the way. Imagine just slurping, adding like basically the armpit, because it's a concave kind of thing, right? So it's like a flesh bowl. So you add the milk, you add the cereal, and then you eat off of that armpit bowl. What the fuck is this channel? Anyway. And I know the reason why you're here is because of these moments, by the way. I know. Don't lie. Don't lie. And then a little bit. And then you have like a bit of, it's like another muscle that sort of goes out a bit. And then there's like a little bowl here. Right? Now, by the way, you will only really see this when the guy has so much freaking muscle. Or chick. Kind of like that. So again, we're learning. Remember this? We're capturing bits here and there. Plus minus. And hopefully we're trying to break it down somewhat deliberately. But even if you don't fully get it, you are sort of learning it passively as well. And that can help you over time, right? So the point is you gotta be drawing. You gotta be drawing. Right? Look at that. How do you draw the abs without it being too obvious? I know the lower abs are a little thicker, right? like this. Yeah, the bones are so obvious, right? And we have like the tonsil here. Is it called like the Adam's apple for the guy? And I know there's like two, like what do you call them? Like tendons or kind of muscles that help like move the neck, I believe. Sort of around like the tonsil area or the Adam's apple area. And in fact, there's like a little dip here of some kind. Oh, like the shoulder goes here. And there's like a little dip. Let me just erase this part. It kind of penetrates the muscle area a bit, kind of like that. And then a little dip here for some reason. Yes. So what's our time? 57 minutes. Not bad. We kind of learned some stuff. And I think I enjoy the spacing a lot more. It's not as pressuring. I mean, it's 1 hour. It feels like a long video, but for me, it's kind of short. Yeah, I get to talk a little bit. I get to like rant, share some personal stuff. It's a lot more like casual, and I want to keep that same vibe, basically throughout my videos for this channel. Yeah, I like the space, so expect more of this. So if you don't like it, just skip these kinds of videos and just watch the art reviews. But even they're kind of nonchalant as well, and very sort of easygoing in a way. Baka. Yeah, kind of messy, but I think over time it's gonna be a lot more refined, right? Damn, look at those back muscles, those lats. It's really obvious from the front even. Look at those. Right? They even shade it kind of like that. That's fine. But I like it. Looks really cool. Oh yeah, look at those hip dips. Do you call them hip dips or it's the hips? That's kind of... There you go. Whoa! That's me. That's me. So anyway, I think that's it for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this sort of quick art session. Well, not quick. It's an hour long. It's kind of long for me. But hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully you've been drawing somewhat in the background as well as I'm drawing. Anyway, yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.